Oh, baby, how good does that look? Tell me you don't love that. What is going on, geeks? Unite the Clans here, back in your life with another episode of Building Evolved. Spring has sprung. The grass hasn't been green. This has been snow for 3 or 4 episodes. But we're back here on Building Evolved. This is my creative building server and our creative building series. We live here on this little island, and we're just building a world. We're trying to imagine what it would be like for someone living out here, farming megaloceros. Now, that's been the one and only livestock up until now. Today, we changed that. We're going to be working with the Ovis, the new one, the sheep. And things have changed other than the grass. Take a look at that. My beard has grown. Now, in a lot of my series, you guys are going to be expecting that Bob Ross fro. This is a mountain man living out here raising sheep. I think that might be the beard for me on this series. And I brought in a little jerboa and I put that little werewolf hat on him because it's creative and I can put in anything I want. I think it's pretty cute. So if you guys want to come down here, I owe you a big thank you. For the first few episodes, I freaked out over 50 likes, and last episode we blew that up. It's at 136 on episode 5. Unbelievable. Last episode we built this, the megaloceros barn, and today, for the first time ever, we're going to leave the island. I think we're going to head over here to that shore like I teased in episode 5, and we're going to start work on an Ovis, I don't know, a barn, a shed, something. I'll figure it out when we get over there, but that's it. Creative building series. Unlike my step-by-step tutorials, we take our time, we explore an idea, a concept, and we build it. And this is what we did last episode. Pretty huge. So I'm probably going to aim for something a bit smaller next time. Watch out, you dang elk. And we're going to head over this way. Now, before I get that far, guys, the patron shout out for today's episode is my man Gil. Gil is a guy I have played Ark with, dating back probably a little over a year. He used to play on the Iron Mine server and always had my back over there. I remember taming a beaver once, and I had like a level 39, and he's like, oh, I got some kibble for you if I want it, or if you want it. And then he came over with some kibble and also a level 120 beaver, which at the time was the absolute max. Always has my back, and he has my back on Patreon, and I just want to say thank you to Gil. I think it's at Walkin' the Line on Twitter if you guys want to follow Gil. Good guy. So let's hop on the Pelagornis, and we're going to head out. We're going to set out on today's adventure. Let's do this. So, I've had a few ideas in this series, guys. Ideas for builds, and this one has been bouncing around in my head for a while. And I've wanted to leave the island for a while and explore what's over here. So, I've done a little bit of prelim work just to get some ideas. This area is super flat, and I think it's probably a great place for a herd of sheep. Now, the one thing I thought that's kind of cool is when you have sheep, you're not going to have long grass like this. They are going to flatten it, clear it right out. So, I mean, I could just turn off ground clutter, but I love the way it looks. I do love the high-level detail in a series like this. So, what I stumbled on was this. Look at this totally barren patch, and it's still grass. So what I'm thinking is we might, here, let's park this Pelagornis. What I'm thinking is we might build a sheep barn somewhere around here, or a shed, and line this little area with fences. And this will be their pasture. And it's going to look like a sheep pasture because the grass is going to be all super short and stuff. So sometimes you got to take advantage of what this game gives you, and that's what I want to do today. So step one, in the first chunk of this episode, I want to work out a design for a fence. Now, I started a little preliminary design, and I want to bring you guys over and have a look at this. You can let me know what you think. We've got stone pillars, and those are painted brown. We've got wooden railings painted... Oh, wait, sorry. Stone pillars painted in tan, wooden railings painted in brown, and I stacked adobe railings right on top. One of the benefits of a creative series is you mix and match materials that are normally really hard to get and put together. You can't really do this outside scorched earth, or you can, but it's a real pain in the butt. So that's what I'm thinking for a fence, and I have an idea in mind for the barn, but that'll be maybe in the second chunk of the episode. It's going to be much less grand than the megaloceros barn, now out of render distance. And we're going to fill this pasture and this barn with these little cuties, the Ovis. If you haven't seen them yet, they're adorable. Check this out. Oh my gosh. And this is a female. Now, I'm going to spawn in a bunch just for the feel, for the theme of this thing. That's one of my favorite parts of this series, guys, is if I want to have a real live ranch, I don't have to spend hours and hours taming and gathering resources. I can just do it. I can take an idea that's in my head and bring it to life. So that's what we're going to do. Give me a little time to lay out some fence foundations. I'm going to try a few things. Maybe see if I can get the fence up super quick. And if I can, I will bring you guys back and we'll start working on the barn ASAP. But let me dive into this, guys. I've got a lot I want to do, and just like last episode, we're going to get a lot accomplished. So let me do my thing. I will be right back in your life. Oh, and you know what, guys? Before I get too far, I owe you guys one. I've had people asking lately, where is this? Where do you live? It's the center map, and this is the big old bridge that connects the Redwood continent that they added to the center over to the original continent. So you can take a look at my GPS right there. I'm rarely going to have a GPS in this series, but I kept getting people asking. So there it is. We'll get it out of the way at the top. Now I'm going to dive into what we're doing. This thing is starting to come together, guys. I went and did fence foundations all along the line. I'm liking how it's going to feel. I haven't figured out the positioning for the barn yet, so that's something we'll figure out as we go. And I'm just dropping these down every kind of third intersection. I'm trying to stay consistent and hopefully, what am I doing? Hopefully not mess it up. So that's 2, 3, and after this I'm going to come by and you know what? I played around with some other ideas, and I think I like the one I showed you guys of all the designs that I had in mind. That's not right. That's only 2. I think. Nope, that's why it's in the middle. Okay, so that's one of the tricky things is they can snap right there too. So 1, 2, 3, and that's almost perfect. Okay, perfect. Now for me, I'm going to go ahead and start working next on the wooden fences. I actually might do the painting in between, at least of these fences, because I don't want to try and paint these fences once the adobe's on top. It's going to get a different color. I'm going to have to go around, you know, crouching like this to try and get them all in place. So I'll probably do my wooden ones, my wooden fences. I'll probably do a quick paint job on whatever's here, and then I'll go through and try the adobe on top. I'll bring you guys back when I get to that point there. All right, the rain is falling because I'm doing something a little different. I've lived on farms a lot of my life, or at least around them, and I know for sure you never have, except for the first day you have your farm, a pristine fence. So what I've done is I went and painted random pillars parchment instead of tan, and I went and left little chunks of this railing unpainted. So painted, and unpainted. So there's going to be a little variation, a little diversity in there. You might not even notice it. Hell, I might not even notice it, and I'm the one with the eye for perfectionism. But I think that's going to look good. And then I think for the same concept, and we can try it right now, actually, for the adobe railings. Oh, let's grab the stack we already started working on. So for the adobe railings, I'm thinking... Here, let's put this away for the moment. I'm thinking maybe if we alternate between mud and brown, that might be the way to go. So let's put in some test ones here. All right. And I'm just going to pull up... Yeah, okay, so I got them on 6 and 7. So if I go on number 6, this one should be my brown color. And that's not going to be the main color. So I'll do that. Okay? And now we'll try this one. This should be mud. I try and keep the HUD off, guys, because that bright green writing, so annoying. I don't like it. If I can avoid it, I will. So what do you think? That's going to blend in okay, I think? That's totally going to blend in, and you get just a little bit of variation from thing to thing to thing. So I'm going to throw in Adobe all along here. I'll slap a paint job on it. I'll come back and show you what it looks like, and then it might be time for a break. So give me a sec. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so there you go. Not only have I mixed and matched colors, I left some parts unpainted, and I think it's turning out pretty good. There's enough variation and enough randomness that I like it, and I think this does it for step 1. The one thing I always thank you guys for in this series, because it's usually out of control, is the likes. So if you haven't done it yet, and you're the type to usually leave a like, go ahead and do that now, guys, and I'm going to go to a break. You can watch a commercial. I'm going to get my thoughts together for the barn. It's going to be here somewhere, but I have to do it in a place where it's not going to be a problem. And I think when you come back, I'm probably going to have filled this whole thing with sheep. And just so they look random and wandering around, I'm probably going to do it with wild ones. I have this little tamed cutie right here, but I think the rest of them are going to be random, just so they mill around. I might even throw in some tamed dire wolves as like sheepdogs. Maybe just one. I think that might be cool. So let me go do that, and I will be right back with you after this. Oh, baby, how good does that look? Tell me you don't love that. Alright, guys, check this out. That is our sheep pasture work in progress. I think I like it a lot. Okay, let's bring this thing down. I've also added in a sheepdog, Seamus, the dire wolf. Let's go see if we can find him, and I'll wander into this place. Let's go. So, I'm thinking about a barn, and I'm going to keep it small, I'm going to keep it simple, and I have a cool idea in mind for a roof. I just got to figure out exactly where to do it. Let's see if we can find our sheepdog. See if I can wander over to this thing. There he is. You see that? Just wandering around, keeping an eye on the herd. I love it. So, all these guys are wild, and I put them in here, and they're just wandering around. Seamus is tamed on wander, so he's not attacking anything, and I like it. So, my first plan was to have the barn out that end. And there's actually not that much room. And I think it would be smarter if I can get myself out of here. Something like that. I think it would be smarter to do it out here. Because we get a ton of space. So I'm thinking I'll add in a gate, and I have a rough idea in mind for this thing, guys. And as I build this throughout this chunk of the video, I'll bring you in and I'll bring you out as we explore some ideas. The one thing I want is some natural light from above, and I don't want a big pointy peaked roof. I want kind of a flatter, more shallow roof. A lot of sheep barns kind of have a dome shape to them. We're never going to be able to get that here, but I do want to kind of capture that feel at the very least. And then one other thing, having been in a lot of sheep barns, they are never going to have a big old wooden floor like our barn over there, because sheep take a lot of dumps. They poop a lot, and usually you get a dirt bottom to a sheep barn. So that's what I have in mind. I might add in a gate over here, lay in a few foundations until I get a good feel for it, something I like, and I'll bring you guys back when we're ready to start some real work on this thing. Okay, guys, we are back. I went and did this thing with stone all the way along here, and stone foundations, and I connected these all, so these two are lined up, and then I took out the ones I used in the middle, and I went and did these fence foundations. And what I'm thinking is that I'm gonna have two sides off of this thing. So in the middle here will be your main sort of pass through. Maybe we'll have fences along there, but on either side you'll have sheep stored. And to get the sheep in and out, you'll have these big old dino gates. And I'm going to keep this small, and I don't really know how many sheep we're actually going to put in this thing, but this is the rough idea. And then what I want is a roof that goes up, and it's going to go up, and it's going to have... Geez, explain yourself, UTC. It's going to go up. It's going to have a sloped roof for one section, and then it's going to be flat across the top. And across the top, I think I want to use a combo of hatch frames and the greenhouse ceilings, so that you've got like these little things of light coming down all the way along, like, you know, sort of on top of the sheep, dappling the sheep with light. So that's what I'm picturing, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that. So when I get up to the roof, I'm going to figure out how to double layer the ceilings. I'm going to roughly use the same combination of materials I used over here. Wood, stone, and thatch. Wood, stone, and adobe. And I haven't really figured out in what way I'm going to do it. I don't have anything too fancy, guys. I think I may do one row of stone along here. Adobe pillars here and there, perhaps. You know what? I don't even know about that. I'm not sure we're going to... Maybe we'll just save the adobe for the fences on the inside. So maybe I'll do stone around here, wood going up, and the roof is going to be wood as well. So I'll play around with a few ideas. I don't have anything in particular in mind, and the real cool features of this are going to be these pens along the side and the roof. So I'm going to get done everything but that and bring you guys back for the stuff I really want to show you, the stuff that might inspire you or might give you some ideas. Everything else is going to be some building basics. So let me get to work. I will be right back. Okay guys, I think I might have found a design. I'm just debating what's actually going to look better. It's kind of cool the way those two intersect. I did inside out stone walls. That might actually be the way to go. Let's, here, get this out of here, and let's put my torch back out, because it is yet another thunderstorm. One of the best things about the center, I guess, constant hydration. But I tell you, they get old. Very old. So, here's the question. What looks better, that? Or that? And from here, we're going to go up with wood. I think we'll probably have to have another layer on top, something that looks like that, then a slope on top of that, and then we'll go across the top. And these, because they're attached to the ground, are going to have a totally different elevation than everything else. Let's have a look on the inside. So on the inside, I like that look for sure. But that could work. You know what? I think we're going to do the inside out. I think we're going to continue going inside out with these. Let's see which way you want to go. Like that. Yep. So I think I'll do this. Let me play around with some ideas. I did end up deciding to use some adobe because I know the roof is going to be wood. I wanted to have a little variation. Put that there. A little variation. I didn't want to go from wood walls straight into a wood roof. So let me keep playing around with the idea, guys. I obviously have some work to do, and I haven't figured out, obviously, how I'm going to get to my ceiling yet. What am I doing? Put that the way it goes. Perfect. Give me more time to figure this idea out. I'll be right back. So I'll have to match the wood. I'll have to match the wood from there to the wood on there. I think we're in a weird spot. I haven't tested this in a while. But I think the paint still really applies to the wood backing on an adobe wall. I think it really still does a bad job doing that. It comes out in like a way darker color than the window frames and all the other building pieces. So when I match the paint, I'm going to try and find some paint that matches that wood strapping to that wood strapping. Alright, it's time to test this and see how things are going to come out. Let's use a darker color, just so we get a good idea. Okay. Show me. Okay, so let's paint that in brown. We'll paint this in brown as well. And number 6, I think, as well. Is that what that is? Here, let's, whoops, spin you around. No, not number 6, number 2. Okay. Okay. So that's how those look. Now let's go over and do the window frame. There's one of them that's super weird and it's never going to match and it drives me freaking nuts. So we'll do those. Those two match. That looks good. That looks good. Let's try this one. I don't want to know. Just hit close quickly. Still wild card. Come on. It's the exact same paint. I've made videos. I dropped it in an Ark Digest and they ain't fixed it. So if we were doing a build all out of Adobe, that would drive me nuts, and I wouldn't be able to use these two building pieces together. But the good news is, we're doing it with Adobe and stone. So all we have to do is find a paint that's going to match like that. So let's hop up there. Oops, come on. And we'll see what number 2 looks like up there. That can work. Okay, so that's your good news, honestly, because that wouldn't match with this. So the exact same paint matches. I think those are gonna work okay together. Maybe that's it. Maybe they accidentally made the way paint applies to the wood on a stone wall apply to the adobe wall. I've asked in an Ark Digest. I've shown it in videos, and it's still borked, and I hate it. The good news for us is we don't need door frames. We don't need window frames. We just need these two things. And whatever color I have on my brush, brown, mud, it definitely works. Those two work together. So in general, I don't know what we're going to do with the paint scheme in here. I want to get the basics done. A paint scheme is something that maybe can wait for in between episodes. We'll see. I want to get to a point where I can start showing you guys my ideas for the roof. And I'm not sure how they're going to go without foundation support in the middle. So I got work to do. Let me finish getting this done. I keep saying that, and then I'll bring you back for things that aren't the end of this. So let me get to a point where I really can start messing around with you guys. We can work on a roof, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, doing some work on the roof, and this is what I've come up with. I attempted to explain myself earlier and did a horrible job, but this is all we're going to do in terms of slope. That's the only height I want to come up, and then I want to go flat across the top. Now, I should use the one easy trick here would be to use Structures Plus. I think I could snap straight off here. And we've got a few mods on the server now. I want to be able to come out from there. I wonder what the best bet is. I'm going to at least need... I'm going to have to do something... Here, let's take you out. This is sort of the bare minimum you're going to have to do to get up at that height. And then I'm going to have a wall there. I know what we could do. Okay, so you can't build straight off these. And I want hatch frames across the top. I also want greenhouse glass underneath. So I haven't figured out that step. We'll kind of figure it out as we go. Why don't we try one of these stone walls? We're going to flip it inside out so that it's recessed back a little bit. Jump up. Nope, that's not it. Let's put jump up. Come on. Come on. Something like that. Okay. So from here, we'll be able to build out using something like a hatch frame. So you have an effect like that. Okay. So that's interesting. Now the next step is to see how things are going to line up. I need to build the greenhouse ceilings off a different elevation. Now the one thing we're going to have, and I think it's okay, is a little gap right here. Whoop, whoop, right up there. There's probably a way to hide it. I just haven't figured out exactly what it is yet. And I very briefly thought about doing adobe on that little triangle piece, but then it wouldn't line up. It wouldn't match. So the other thing I was thinking is I will probably end up putting door frames in here just as we get started. So let's flip you like that. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And we'll grab our adobe walls if I still have some. Okay, so what if we go up like this? How do these two elevations line up? I think that might be perfect. Now, the issue I'm running into, I'm sure, is going to be... Whoops, that's not going to work for me, is it? Oh, maybe it will. The issue I'm going to run into, I think, is foundation support. Am I going to be able to place over the middle of that? Let's find out. So, this is how I build, guys, and it seems like people are digging this series. The channel's growing like a mofo these days. It's kind of a little bit out of my control, and I'm excited for it. But you guys seem to be liking this. You get to see my creative process. You get to see how I come up. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I was worried about. Alright guys, so I have had some genuine trouble with this, and it's taken me a little while to figure out. I guess this center row has to be connected in one way or another to the outer row. But I think what I can do is put these ceilings up and then go in. We're going to find out. I think I can put these up, and then I can go in and take out the ones in the middle. You guys see I've filled in my little sheep pens that I want to have the dirt or the grass floor to them. I've gone and done this. So I'm going to finish this up right as we're going to try and get this done in this last little bit of this video, and then I'll probably cut away, do a little work on the pens. It's going to be more of the fencing, the same fencing, but maybe a simpler version on either side of this, and I might add in, I don't know, a few little details. But like I said, this barn is simple. The real highlight is that sheep pasture, and I honestly think it turned out great. You get Seamus the wolf just wandering around, keeping an eye, wolf in sheep's clothing. So I'm thinking we can do this, and before I get any further, we might as well test my theory. So let's hop on down. So all we want is this middle row, right? We're gonna find out in a minute if stuff starts breaking. So far so good. Ooh, I got a good feeling about this. Oh yes, okay, so we've tricked it. Or have we? The moment that this is no longer connected, maybe I'm gonna have an issue. We'll find out. Because probably these two things are considered... These are probably considered separate structures, right? But I mean, they should be connected now. This should separate it, right? Okay. Okay. Oh! Lord. Why would those ones... What? That makes no sense. Okay, so I've got work to do, obviously, guys. I'm going to troubleshoot this, and instead of taking you step by step through how I want to do this cool roof design, I'm going to be spending some time figuring out how to do the cool roof design. Let me do that, and I'll come back to you. If this helps you, if you enjoy this series, if you like building in Ark, and you have friends who do too, share this around. This series is growing, and it's growing because of the likes and the shares. I don't know, it's awkward to ask for that stuff, and I never used to, but now that I'm seeing the effect that it's having. Like I said, episode 5, whatever it was, blew me away. So I have work to do, guys. Instead of taking you step by step through this and showing you how to do it, I have to figure out how to do it. So let me go do that, and when we come back from the commercial, whatever you call it, the ad, I'll hopefully have figured some things out, and we'll be moving on. Alright, so the ceiling is in. What I'm thinking is it all has to stay connected, and the idea as it stands now is to just leave some of these in here, to go across right there, and hopefully take out everything but the 2 on either end. Let's see, so that seems like it's gonna work. It's not ideal, because if I don't have to, I wouldn't have those there, but I'll try and find a way to incorporate it into the design. We'll see about that. I don't know how that's gonna work. Ooh. You know what? That's gonna do it right there. I like this. Oh. Okay, maybe if we take... Oh, geez. Maybe if we take that out first. Maybe I can go back and put the Adobe one in. Oh, that's on 6. Let's see. I think I can. I think it might let me. No. Okay. Okay, so I wonder what we do there. I'll figure something out. So let's just do that, and we'll do the same thing over top with these, and this should give us the look we were after. Whoops, not quite the look we were after. Something like that. I think I like that. I haven't decided yet. I think it's going to work for now. And I'll leave these in here. I could grab some no-clip or Structures Plus foundations. I try and keep this series as vanilla as possible, but having them right here on the edge might be better. Let me see if I can get a couple of those up, and maybe we'll make that work. Alright guys, I think that does it for what is probably a way too long episode of Ark Building Evolved, but I made you wait for it. Check this place out, as usual, completely gorgeous. Look at UTC with that big old beard. You let me know if I need the Bob Ross fro on every world. I like this mountain man look out here raising sheep. Getting lonely. So this is our sheep barn. Oh, that's my Pelagornis. Good. I lost a few sheep. They got wandering. So I put a few on either side. Check that out. I think it looks good. And if you wander down here before we lose all our daylight into the sheep pasture, you'll see what today's episode was all about. I like how this turned out. We're continuing to transform this landscape, continuing to make it all our own, and we're doing something with this series that I don't see anybody else doing. I'm not I'm no genius. I didn't invent this idea. This is basically building with BOO, which is a Minecraft series that got me into Let's Plays and made me want to be a YouTuber. It's basically this series, but we're doing it in Ark, and we're doing it here, and you guys seem to be digging it. So if you do love it, I feel it. I feel the love, I feel the support, and I'm not going anywhere. If you are brand new and you've made it to the end of this episode and you like what we do here, you like this, come on, build, get creative, try and take an idea and bring it to life. And I think we did that today. It feels like we did that today. This looks so different than it did, and it feels exactly like I wanted it to. So if you dig that, guys, subscribe. But that's it. My name is UniteTheClans. This has been Ark Building Evolved, and I will see you geeks in the next episode. Jesus, terrible timing. Oh, that's amazing.